Hello, everyone, and welcome to Inspiring Best Living channel, where we talk about wealth creation, wellness, and well-nourished soul. My name is Remi Wesley Ogude, and I'm your host. And I'm very delighted to be back to bring you another episode. Today, I'll be focusing on wellness, and specifically, the topic is 5 health killers you should avoid. I want to start by telling you that life is a journey. Sometimes it could be rough, and people have different challenges of juggling so many responsibilities. They have to juggle the responsibility of raising a good family and juggle that with having a great career, having also responsibilities of either building business and also supporting their community as volunteers, or if they are people of faith like me, people also have different roles they play in their church just to support other fellow Christians. So sometimes this challenge of having too many responsibilities at the same time come with a lot of stress for so many people that they cannot handle. So what do? The challenge is that people try to compensate in different ways. They try to adopt different coping mechanisms to help with the stress of the weight of different responsibilities they carry. And it is good. The only problem is that a lot of times people use wrong different coping mechanisms. And some of these mechanisms are meant to reduce the stress or help them to tackle the stress. At the end of the day, if they don't choose the right, appropriate coping mechanisms, those steps or those mechanisms they have chosen may induce further stress and add additional problems to their lives. Recently, I attended a program, and the facilitator of that program is a health program, was asking people about different ways through which they cope with stress. And people mentioned different things. And there are two things they mentioned there that are also part of the 5 health killers that I want to talk to us about. They mentioned smoking, drinking as part of the mechanisms they normally use to handle stress. I'm happy that the facilitator highlighted some of the dangers that are associated with these two habits. And I'd like to also add more to that. Apart from smoking, drinking, we also have other 5 health killers, which I want to quickly talk about in this episode, which include unhealthy diets and physical inactivity. And the last one is lack of adequate sleep. So the 5 different health killers I like to quickly mention are smoking, drinking, physical inactivity, lack of proper sleep or adequate sleep, and the last one is unhealthy diet or food. So I want to go back to what I was talking about and about the facilitator, how he highlighted the dangers. And I also want to talk from experience. I've been a registered nurse practicing for over 10 years. I've worked in different hospitals on different units. So I can speak to these killers of health based on my experience and also the studies I've done. I did some studies today in preparation of today's episode, which I also came across some statistical reports that I like to share with us to actually to buttress my point on the dangers of some of these health killers I'm discussing today. The first one I want to talk about, which relates closely to smoking, is that the studies that I did talk about smoking as being responsible for about 90% of all lung cancer. That's the first one. The second one I want to talk about is the study I got from the report from World Health Organization, which reported that the use of alcohol contributes to about 7.1% to and 2.2% of global health diseases for both male and female respectively. The third one, which is about sedentary living, that is physical inactivity, According to World Health Organization again, the study says that 60 to 85% of people in both developed world and developing world have sedentary living. So talking about these three, I will take it from the last one, which is about physical inactivity, talking about the effect. When people come, leave their house, and they have a job that involves a lot of sitting down. Number one, so many people drive or take a bus, they sit down in the bus or sit down while driving a long distance, and sometimes even they are held in traffic. They get to work, maybe about 8 hours of work or 12 hours of work if it's a long one, sitting down or hardly have time to exercise, maybe just their break and some a few stretches. And by the time they are coming back again, they sit in the car, not being able to exercise or walk. How do you see people who walk from work, who do physical work to work and come back home? So they drive again and come back home, eat, and probably the food they are eating, they also buy it, not in control of what the contents are, stay in front of the television, watching movie or catching up with news. So all of this together complicates the problem when we talk about physical inactivity. Talking about smoking and drinking, some people will tell you, oh, it's just a little cup and it doesn't matter, cup of alcohol or hard drinks that's not very good for their health. And they don't know when this just one cup will get to a level of drunkenness. And we have heard of cases where after people get drunk, they drive, they have accidents, and sometimes, unfortunately, some may even lose their lives as a result of this. And also, the same with smoking. Some will start with just a little one stick, and before they know it, they get addicted to cigarettes, hard drugs. They can't get out. They want to get out, but it becomes hard. So why start it again? So these are some of the dangers in those three that I've just talked about: physical inactivity, smoking, and drinking. The fourth one is inappropriate diet. People feel that they can eat what they like what they eat, and they want to eat at the time they want. Sometimes will eat into late nights, which does not give them opportunity to properly digest their food. They hit the road the next time, and they eat all kind of food, not even minding what they are putting in their body. That's about nutrition. And the last one is about inadequate sleep. We require good sleep to nurture our body. It's something that promotes good health in us. So if people do two, three jobs together and are sleep deprived, it doesn't help them. Some people feel that, well, they don't need it as long as they get just few hours of sleep. But when it accumulates, that sleeplessness has a lot of effect on people's health. So I want to quickly talk about practical steps we can take for those who are struggling with these 5 health killers to avoid, who want to get out. The intention of this episode is to encourage you that no matter how deep we have gone in all of this, if we make up our mind to correct things and come out, we can't really do that. So the first one I want to talk about, I speak to two as in the practical steps because of my time. But I'll quickly run through the first three, which is smoking and drinking. If you are hearing me today and you know that you are persuaded it's something you want to consider, I'm not a professional or an expert in this area, but I will ask you to seek for professional advice. You can talk to people about who are professionals on smoking cessation and drinking cessation. You can also talk about to therapists who can support you in this area as well. But as a person of faith, I believe in prayer. You can pray as well. Then you can begin to examine the group of people you are moving with. If you really want to stop smoking and drinking, you don't want to continue to befriend those people who are encouraging you to indulge in that relationship. You want to begin to build new set of relationship that can encourage you to come out of those habits. That's what I can add to that as well. And talking about good food, you can begin to, I always mention in my episode that the starting point is having good fruits and vegetables, incorporating them in your meal, into your meal, whatever kind of meal you have, but you need to also watch the kind of meal you are taking into your body. You can also seek the opinion of an expert like a good nutritionist who believes in holistic and integrated approach to health, who can help you and walk you through the kind of diets that are really good for healthy living. And the fourth one is I've spoken about physical inactivity. What can you do to be physically more active, especially for those of us, for some of us that I've described earlier, who just go to work, drive to work, spend long hours of sitting down, coming back, watching TV. We can begin to do things around stretching during work, maybe at intervals of 1 hour. Just stretch for about 15 minutes. That's part of it. You can use staircase instead of elevator. When you use staircase, it helps you also. It helps your circulation. It's better than elevator, but we use elevator when we know that we are going to maybe more than 3rd or 4th floor and we need it's important. So where it is feasible, we can use staircase. The other things we can do is parking away our car a distance away from the entrance of either stores when we want to go for shopping or the entrance of our workplace. When we park away from the entrance, it helps us to at least walk. We're just intentional about taking the steps. Another thing is that we can enroll in gym in our workplace, gym in an area where it's easy and it's closer to workplace if our workplace does not provide gym. These are some of the steps we can take. If it's affordable, if we can afford the gym, it's fine. If we cannot, let's start even with our legs and start. We don't pay for walking. We just walk in a quiet neighborhood. We can even do prayer walk. If we are people of faith like me, I do prayer work, which helps as well. So that's what we can do about physical inactivity. About sleep, we can really improve on our sleeping habits. Some people, because of the kind of work they do, maybe long hours of nights like I do, it's hard to catch up, but we have to be intentional about it. We have to catch up anyway. We can even have rest retreat where on our days off, we can take time to rest and recuperate. That will help on our sleep as well. As I'm rounding up, I want us to know that, number one, I'm a person of faith. I believe that the ultimate protector is God and also is our healer. But at the same time, I want us to also know that we have a part to play. God has played his part by giving us a good body. And we're taking intentional steps to prevent preventable sickness. We have to do things that can help us by taking actions. That will depend on a lot of things we do and things we refuse to do. So listening to this video, I believe, is to encourage you to take those steps. Before I close, I want to echo the memorable words of Dr. King Williams, a fellow of American College of Cardiology, who said, "I don't mind dying. I just don't want it to be my fault." And that is so very true. That is the reason why I keep talking about our intentionality in approaching our health and every other thing. Taking steps is our responsibility. And as we do, I believe that we'll have better outcome for this. As I round up, I want to remind us again that this platform is to inspire us to thrive in 3 key areas: wealth creation, wellness, and how you can have a well-nourished soul. I really thank you for listening to me today. And I want to ask you to please share the link, share the video to as many as you know can possibly benefit from it. Subscribe and press the notification button so that you can get my other episodes right away. Once they are produced, you will be notified. Again, my name is Remi Wesley Ogude, your regular host. Until I come your way again, please take care of yourself and bye.